Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of the MCR Mac and Me. My name's TJ, and in this segment, we'd like to talk about one of the few commentators on Fox that's worth anything, Maria Bartiromo. She's actually kind of one of the primary anchors on the Business Channel, but she does appear on other Fox programming. She is a hardcore Trump supporter, right from the very start and even to the bitter end. She's just she's pretty hardcore. I'd say her, Jesse Waters, and Greg Gutfeld, and then after that, I'm hard pressed to tolerate any of them. You know.
Dana Perino's a Bushite.
Yeah.
Judge Janine, I like her and I agree with most of what she said, but she could be a bit over the top for my liking.
To Maria Bartiromo, she had on her program, and I don't exactly know when this aired, but on her program, she had a Republican congressman from South Carolina. She was interviewing him. And he is on, and I'd like to try and get this correct here. Maria Bartiromo, she was interviewing Congressman Russell Fry, Republican out of South Carolina, and he is on a committee. They're looking into the weaponization of government, blah, 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 blah. And I say blah, 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 because she commences to tear into him.
Well, looking into it, open your eyes. That's all you need to do to look into it.
Well, she's basically saying that's all you guys do is just look into it, write a report, and then so goes the blah, 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 blah,
Right.
And she was, I'm going to, I got a couple lengthy quotes of hers. I'm going to read as she's tearing into this guy. Okay. And at one point, she says, I want to get your take on the weaponization of government, Congressman, because I know that you're on this subcommittee. However, I haven't heard a peep of this committee while Donald Trump, here it goes, while Donald Trump sits in a courtroom in Manhattan all day long, while Joe Biden is over there campaigning, going to all the swing states, and she's got a point, going to all the swing states. What do you want to say about the weaponization of government as Trump sits in that courtroom hearing from a porn star all day long? And so she's saying, you guys just seem to be sitting on your derriere while he's stuck in a courtroom and Biden's having at it, across the country,
Well, quite honestly, I think the answer is, of course, he's never going to say this, is I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm going to have a job one way or the other.
Yep.
I got my pension.
Let's see. She would later say, just let me be clear. Oh, here we go. Bravo, Maria Bartiromo. Just let me be clear. Viewers are sick and tired of hearings. They are sick and tired of letters. They're sick and tired of hearing complaints. They want action. Amen. President Trump is in a trial all day long, every day in New York City. Where is this committee on weaponization, and what are you doing about it? I just spoke with Kevin Hassett, the former chairman of the White House Economics Council, and he said, make no mistake, if we see President Trump go to jail because he violated a gag order, markets will react. So she's basically saying to this congressman who's supposed to be on our side, you ain't doing shit,
Well, they're going through the motions, grandstanding, putting on what some would call kabuki theater. It's all for show. All show, no go. That's what the Republican Party has become.
Later on, she would say to Congressman Russell Fry, Congressman, we are losing the country. With all due respect, I'm not blaming you specifically, but it's not enough to set up a committee called the weaponization of federal government. That's not doing it for anybody. We want to hear more from you. We want action. We want to know what the heck is going on in this New York trial where nobody can seem to come up with a crime. You know what? Bravo, bravo, bravo to Maria
Well,
Bartiromo.
it's election interference at its finest. And the corrupt propaganda media isn't going to tell you about it.
Yeah,
including Fox News for the most part.
Oh, exactly. I think part of the reason why Fox News hasn't tried to muzzle her more is she's on the business channel and she's pretty good at what she does. Yeah. So it's almost like, well, she's on the business channel, we'll leave her alone. I almost get the feeling it's something like that.
Right. And they're not gonna drum up a sexual harassment charge on her. They can't get rid of her that way.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the first art. This news report was in the Gateway Pundit, and then farther down, as I looked through the history that came out like a day or so prior to the one about Maria Bartiromo, was a very brief news report on Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. One of the things about Justice Clarence Thomas is they said he's one of the more quieter judges, and the observation's been he hasn't been too quiet lately.
Well, I think he's quiet because to be a good justice, you have to listen more than you talk. Yeah. Unlike some other pigs they have on that court.
But he's started to speak, we'll say, and some of what I have here that he's said, like he spoke at a meeting of sorts just the other night. Okay. And let's see, Friday. So it might have been last week on Friday at a conference at the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit in Point Clear, Alabama. He was anything but quiet. That's how the news report reads.
Right.
Political operatives in the nation's capital are simply awful, and they have awful in quotation marks. It says, as he told the audience, saying he's described Washington as a place where people pride themselves in being awful. Here's a direct quote of Clarence Thomas. It's a hideous place as far as I'm concerned. Then this is a Supreme Court justice.
I wouldn't argue with any of that.
Yeah, here's a Supreme Court justice. Yeah, a Supreme Court justice saying the very city that he works in is a hideous place. Right. Then farther down toward the end of the news article, it wasn't very long, and it's in the Gateway Pundit. It's now called X, but I'll say there was a tweet. Someone put out a tweet of something he said on a previous speaking engagement, and this is what Clarence Thomas is supposed to have said. North is still north. Right is still right. Truth is still truth. Nothing can stop what's coming. So it sounds to me like he's had his fill of, as what I like to say, the bovine excrement there in the D.C. area, you know?
Well, they've come after him. They've come after his wife. They're always saying he needs to recuse himself. When the hell was anybody asked that fat pig Kagan to recuse herself? When did anyone, the Wicked Witch of the West, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, when was she ever asked to recuse herself? Or Sotomayor, the biggest racist that's ever served on the court, when was she ever asked to recuse herself?
And that Justice Ketanji Jackson Brown, who can't say what a woman is,
Yeah, she's a liar and she's a moron.
Yeah. So, just a couple articles out of the Gateway Pundit I was compelled to share. Bravo to Maria, and you know what? Bravo to Clarence Thomas. And I've been thinking this for a little while now. You just pray to God he hangs on in there till Trump or somebody gets in there, because he's getting up in age. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to last. And and here's the scary thing. Even if we had another Republican president, are they going to replace him with another Clarence Thomas? Probably not.
Not like
I just
No, they probably replace him with somebody like John Roberts, who's a piece of shit also.
my point exactly. My point exactly. So I just wanted to share those couple news articles, and I guess not everyone is blind, and he he knows what's going on in D.C., but he's one of 9 judges, so
Right.
it is what it is, as I like to say.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all I got for this one. Anything else? Any final thoughts? Or not? Okay. As always, be safe. Watch your 6, and don't tread on me.